America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Chuck Reiterman.
Here.
Gary LaFontaine. Here. Cindy Trina.
Here.
Chris Riddle. Here. Vern Coleman.
Here.
The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the agenda. I would entertain a motion to add discussion of MTA bill/training as would be item 16G. I'll make that motion. Will someone support it?
I'll support.
Any discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is public comment. First, underneath public comment, we are going to have a second required public hearing for the 2025-2026 Richmond Township Fire and EMS. We did have the first one in May. We are required by law to have 2 public hearings on this before we can adopt it. Can I get a motion to call the public hearing to order, please?
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. We are called to order at 7:01. So as those of you know that were here last month, we do collect millage that we were approved for years ago to pay for the fire contracts and the EMS service. This year, the expenditures total $537,668. The total millage rate that we will be charging is 2.665, and the revenue from that will be $538,568. So it will be about $900 over what we are required to raise. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and entertain any public comment on this. If you have a comment on it, if you would please come up to the podium. Okay, hearing none, does the board have any discussion on this? No? Okay, then I would have a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next, we will have the public comment on agenda items only. So if you have comment, would you please come up to the podium and state your name?
I'm Stacy Vianos, 26161 Dayton Road. I did look through the packet and I wanted to comment on the pathway park plan. And I just wanted to say that I appreciate all the thought and reconsideration that the board is giving to this project based on the shocking estimate that was received. So I appreciate what the supervisor Green is recommending. And I guess I would hope that the board would go along with this. I'm just going to postpone it and do what we can with the money we have. I do think it's important to be fiscally responsible with the taxpayers' money and see what we can do going forward. So I'm saying I appreciate that. And I kind of went through there, but I'm not really looking at the number stuff. But I wondered if maybe the treasurer could update us on sweep accounts. There were some accounts that we were going to transfer money to get higher interest. And I thought there was supposed to be a special meeting or something one time. So I just wondered what the status of that was.
And she can do that during her report. Thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you. Any other public comment? No? Okay. Then we will move on to approval of the minutes. Everyone has had a chance to read the minutes from the May 14th, 2025 regular board meeting. I would look for a motion to approve those minutes as presented, or if you have any amendments.
So moved to approve.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have the building department report, EMS report, office administrator report, and planning commission report. And on the table tonight, I do believe we have the NMC minutes as well. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, or if you'd like to pull one of those off, you can include that in the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion is carried. All right, we are at the financial reports now. And Kathy has given everyone the schedule of bills. Does anyone have any questions for Kathy on the bills this month? Her? Anything? No? Good. Okay, hearing none, motion is in order to approve and pay the bills as presented.
So moved.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next, we have the treasurer's report. Chris?
Okay, in the general fund, we have $1,059,222.86. In the tax account, we have $71,762.78. And in the recreational account, we have $459,707.21. In the investment account, we have $1,247,502.82. In the PDR account, we have $24,460.50, and other accounts is $10,938.58, which is a grand total of $2,873,000 or $73,595.75. Okay, so now we'd like to know a little bit more about the sweep account. I don't know if you remember, maybe about 3-4 months ago, we had North Star here. They did talk about that sweep account because the general account, when I took office, wasn't getting much percentage. It was only getting like 0.5%. So North Star has this account that they put, you're insured up to $250,000. So they put $250,000 in different various banks, and we get I believe like 2.45% instead of 0.5%. No. So then I've been taking some of that money and putting it into a CD to get 4%. The CDs are 4%, but so it's kind of like a money market type of a thing, because you get a little bit of higher interest rate. And so our general account, the balance is literally zero. And then as Kathy writes checks out, it comes out of that sweep account that we're getting 2.45, and then she writes a check on that. So basically all our general funds now is making pretty decent interest rate.
I just wanted to follow up to see that that had been done and yes.
Oh, it did, yes.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chris. Are there any questions on the treasury report? Okay, hearing none, that will stand as presented. Now we are going to go to the miscellaneous department reports, farmland preservation.
Yes, the state is ready to sign the grant agreement that we had for the purchase of the development rights on 10 Coleman's property. And so we need a motion to give the supervisor authorization to sign that grant with the Michigan Department of Ag. And that will probably take place yet this month. So.
I just set it all up with John when I talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, everything else is in motion. It's just that they need to sign.
We need to entertain a motion
Yeah.
to authorize me to sign the paperwork on behalf of the township.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I can support that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried.
Other than that, that's all I have. That's all in the works, and it seems to be going fairly smooth this time.
Okay.
A lot smoother
Yeah.
than in the past. And
Yeah.
Cindy's should kind of be on the lookout for it. It'll be coming.
Okay, and you just, that's what you just told me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Next, the building report.
Madam Supervisor, members of the board, I think there's really a little to report. You know, it's a time of year when we much prefer to be mowing grass than plowing snow. So that's good news as far as getting the lawns and the grounds taken care of. Just want to report that, it's always appreciated when the board accepts our recommendations on things. And the roller that we bought has been invaluable, not only to making certain the soccer field is safe for the children to play on, and have holes out there that they potentially be stepping in or injured, that's all out. But it's actually my staff's telling me it's actually far easier on the equipment, because they're not driving over, what's equivalent to a grass washboard, when that ground's on the So just thank you very much for allowing us to purchase that early in the spring. It's coming really handy. It won't get used as much now that the ground's hardening up, or it's hardening up a little bit. It'll get used certainly every spring to get the area flat. So, thank you.
Great. Anyone have any questions for Jeff at all? No? All right, next, the assessor's report. Does anyone have anything that they would like me to take back to Christine? Okay, hearing nothing, we will go to the library report, please.
All right, I have a lot of things to report for the library because June is a very busy month. The summer reading kickoff program is going to start on June the 16th. They're going to have a storyteller that day, and they ask that people register for that event. For all the other grades or all the other kids that are older, from 5 to 17, I think that it is, yes, their challenge begins also on June 16th, and it runs until July 31st, when they have the summer party. You can find all the information at the library, or check the website for that. And you can go into the library to pick up your little kit. There's an adult craft night, June 18th, which is no cost. They're making a book vase. And a puzzle competition for the evening puzzle competition on June the 20th at 6. And there are still spots available, $5 per person. 500-piece puzzle plus pizza. They're going to hold a tiny art show for anyone who's 10 and older. They can pick up a little art kit at the library, and they are going to ask them to create a design and have them in a little display on June 27th, and the theme is Color Your World. The town clock coloring contest is also underway. It's an annual thing. They've been doing it for quite some time, and they also begins June 16th, so a lot going on starting June 16th. Oh, yeah, that's right. They had the big, and there was a write-up in the paper about some many changes or renovations possibly, or they're looking into what they can do to expand the library, because they've got a sizable amount of money from someone who left their, right, an estate or something, partly to that, so that was wonderful. So, we'll be up to date on that. And that's all I have for the library report.
Okay, now the NEMC report.
I don't have anything to report that's updated, nothing new, just the same things coming after the PEG fees, right? Do you happen to know if you've gotten the PEG fee, the new and updated PEG fee sheets that are coming to you supposed to be new? No,
I still haven't received anything, and I do need to get Joe's number,
Right.
so that
I'll
can
make
set
sure.
up with me with her.
You can meet together.
And I'm gonna say maybe me and her,
Sure.
and we'll figure it out. I'll bring my whole.
And I got my staff too, so we've got it together. It'll be great.
Okay. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item is the Recreation Advisory Board. At our meeting last month, we did have some of our residents join us and share some of their concerns and their ideas. And I do think the board took those to heart. And again, we had mentioned the dates for the upcoming activities at the last meeting. So we will now go to unfinished business. The walking path discussion, we had a very lengthy discussion on this at the last meeting. Since that time, I've met with all of the township board members, talked to them singularly to get their feelings on it. And the long and the short of it is, I think we've all just decided that we have X amount of money, and that's for recreation, and we can spend that money on recreation. I don't think anybody was too crazy about trying to spend the additional money on the pathway. Two things before we close this out. I am going to need a motion from the board to formally decline the low bid from James P. on the walking path. 5. So if I could get someone to do that now.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. And then what I'd like to do is next Wednesday, these 3 people are part of a board that is our recreation board, and we're going to meet at 6 o'clock. And I think I've talked to each of you as well. We'd like to have a joint meeting with the township board and kind of have all 10 of us put our heads together and see what we want to do. You know, we've had some really good ideas of maybe putting up a big building. Mr. Bradman and I talked about that for a while. Vern said something about that as well. Possibly, I'm sorry, Sir Matt.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Could you revise your motions to reject all bids?
Okay, I'm sorry. So you made that motion. Would you mind revising it? Is that what you reject all bids?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And your support of that would be?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and we'll take another vote. All those in favor of that? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion is carried. Thank you. So, thank you. Okay, so anyways, you know, what we're looking to do is have a joint meeting, have all 10 of us sit there, which is what we did last time when we decided that we were going to try to get a pathway and see what we come up with. And, you know, I think I heard different ideas from almost everybody of what they would like to do. But I think that we can come up with something and agree on it. So that will be next Wednesday, the 18th at 6 p.m. And that will be here at the Township Hall. Okay, so the next item we have on a new business, we have approval of the FY 25-26 Richmond Township Fire and EMS Village. A motion would be in order to approve the millage rates and budget as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I can support that.
Any further discussion?
What was the millage rate again?
The total, I think, is 2.665. Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the budget amendments. So the clerk did lay these before you this evening. She has spelled out in green what needed to be increased. And in the red, where she proposed to take that money from. She did get the budget balanced. I know she's been working on these for a while because we've talked a couple of times. So we have a couple of options with these, since we just have them in front of us tonight. If you folks would like to take them home and look at them, you could add them as an agenda item to the meeting tomorrow night as a possibility, or we could add them to the next Wednesday's agenda. So,
Do you need time to review?
yeah, what is the board's pleasure on that?
I don't have a problem with
Put them like there?
that. Yeah. Because I've kind of looked it over a little bit.
Chris?
Yeah, I looked them over too. That clerk's salary, that's because of 9 days.
Yeah, resolutions we asked
Right.
for each election was a $2,000 to her fund.
Yeah, that was
Three elections.
Any other questions?
I do not have the other budgets to compare to. How does it compare to the other budget, which you already agreed?
As far as amendments, we usually do have a fair amount of amendments at the end of the year. I
No, I have no problem with the amendments.
Okay.
Where is this, the amendments we're asking, how does that compare to our budget that we've already adopted?
So this is the budget from last year. So I apologize, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Okay. We had a workshop.
Yep.
We went through that workshop.
Yeah.
We adopted a budget.
So
How does this compare to what we agreed to?
Usually, when we have that workshop, we bring the year prior to that workshop, and we kind of, so we can see the increase or the decrease,
And-
right?
And as we did it off.
Kathy was incredibly patient with me, and she spent a lot of time, so that I'm hoping we don't have to do this. There will probably be
There's a lot of
A
guys.
couple, there might be some surprises we get along the way that we're not encountering, but I feel like we addressed in our workshop and in our budget, we addressed a lot of these issues.
The new TTL,
Yes.
that,
The green is the amendment,
yep,
and it's a plus, and I put it in green,
yep,
so we had to up that to
Mhm.
750. This would be the new total, see the total up
yep, I
there?
do.
Yep, and this is going to be the new total plus the 750.
Yep.
Over here is what we spent through May,
Yep, today.
and I've tried to calculate June as best as I can compared to last year's, but it's really hard to compare to last year's because everything's increased. But I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything.
Okay. And then the red is proposed decrease.
And if you go through each line, you'll see red. I mean, those, if you add up all my green, it'll total that, no, that's 27.
If
There's a surplus
if
here.
there's a question, Kathy, why don't we we'll just leave it go till next week, Charlie?
I'd like that, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Charlie will
that.
get a chance to look it over.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can we get a motion then to table the decision
Table.
until the
Yeah.
18th?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, great. Is there support for that?
Yes, I'll support.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Okay, so we will put that on the agenda probably right away, just so you have a chance, everyone has a chance to look at them, and if there's questions, be cleared up.
We're going to do that tomorrow or
That's next Wednesday.
Next.
Yep. Next item on the agenda is the approval of meeting dates for next fiscal year. If you read the little item, we generally do skip one of those meetings because we have so many budget meetings that we usually take one of them off. If for something happens that we do need to have a meeting, of course we would hold one. Usually we do July or August. I'm going to propose doing July only because I made plans for a trip a long time ago. And I will not be here, but if that doesn't work for everyone else, then we can do August. So I'll leave that up to you folks.
Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, whatever. Usually, August is usually during the Army Fair. It doesn't conflict with me, I don't know. Charlie, do you have work to do over there?
Yeah, I'm coming up that week, we're at the state fair.
Oh. And I
However you want to make the motion, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
If I'm not here, someone else just have to run the meeting, so.
I prefer July.
It doesn't matter to me.
Well, man.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Okay, then I would need a motion to approve the meeting dates as presented with not doing the July meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I can support that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the reappointment of planning commission members. We have three, Jonathan Yates, Christine Boot, and Thomas Mackley, and their terms are all up on July 17th. I did speak with all of them personally, and they all very kindly agreed to continue their service to the township. If we approve them tonight, their terms will end July 17th of 2028. So a motion would be in order to approve the reappointment of those three with the term end date of July 17, 2028.
I can make that motion.
Is there support? Support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Next item on the agenda we have is to amend the Richmond Township Ordinance Section 7.0, Item 8, maximum size permitted for attached residential garages. And Vern, I may call you in to speak on this. The Planning Commission did hold a public hearing on May 21st regarding increasing the size of the allowed attached garage. Prior to this amendment, or what we currently have is, I believe, half the size of the house, or 850 square feet, whatever is less. We are seeing an increasing interest in people building much bigger garages. So we spoke to our planner, and as I said, the Planning Commission did hold a public hearing, and they made the motion. I just copied and pasted it right out of Lori's minutes. So I guess we need a motion first to adopt the zoning ordinance amendments as proposed, and then if there's discussion, we'll have it then. So,
I'll make the motion.
is there any discussion at all on this? Kathy, none, no, Chuck?
One of the reasons this came about is that the popularity of these barn dominions that are coming into play. We had some people come forward and ask us about that. And we had quite a discussion, quite a few people there discussing. I thought we came to a pretty good resolution. And our planner was well in favor of what we did. So,
Yeah,
you know, I think this was just kind of getting with the times.
me too.
Yeah.
I feel like it too. All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of adopting the amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. We now have the approval of the Richmond Township Principles of Government. So we adopted these. It basically says how we govern. It's the fact that we do hang out for our residents to read when they come in. And we have 2 new board members, and I would like to get their signatures on that plaque for everyone to see. So Lori brought this to me again, and I'm looking to get a motion to approve that, and then she's going to try to get everyone to sign it tonight. So I will need a motion to adopt those.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Last item is the item that I added to the agenda. The MTA sent us a bill for our dues, and they will be coming out of the next budget, the budget that we adopted, that we worked on, and we adopted. They're due July 1st. Something they're offering this year is we have the option to have a premium pass if we want all courses included. That means anybody at the township, all the elected officials, all the staff members can go and take their online courses. They can set up an account and take their online courses. I did attach to the other discussion the plus package. Instead of $1,900 that the premium is, the plus package is $1,000, and that provides access to all essential webinars plus additional specialized topics like cemetery management, planning, and zoning. And then the essentials is just what it says. There's 27 webinars, essential topics, including accounting, budgeting, and board authority. I don't believe that we don't have to approve any of these. They're offering us, this is the first year I think they've offered this to us. I personally, for me, I don't think that we take enough courses, and I'm not sure how much we would use it, but if the other board members feel like this is a good idea, I would certainly support it. So,
You think we don't take enough and we should be taking them, we just don't?
I don't know how cost effective it would be because we're not, Chris, you took quite a few, which was great, but there's a couple that I would like to take in the next year, but I don't know, I think that
How much of a savings?
I just signed up for one. I'm going to go the end of this month up to Mount Pleasant for that Senate bill that just passed.
Yeah.
Specifically time. And it was only $75.
So we're not going to try to hurt ourselves by just doing it.
I think
we're good like we are.
Okay.
And since we're not going to make any change, Chuck, did you have anything, any thoughts? Okay, since we're not going to make any changes, I'll make a motion to move forward with that. Okay. We are through the agenda. Next, we have items for next agenda, which will not be until August, but we do have a special meeting tomorrow night. And it looks as though all of the supervisors will be coming to that meeting except for Washington Township. I reached out to him again, and I've heard nothing from him, and that's okay. The deputy executive, Macomb County executive, he will be coming, and Jamie Green will be coming, and I'm hopeful to have the journal. And I did send an email out to everybody with the proposed draft agenda, and I said in there, I don't know how close we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Order. I want it to be a good discussion. I want people to say what they're thinking and hopefully get some information from the people that are going to be here. And, you know, I'm hopeful for that. So, that being said, is there anybody, and it's, you know, being that August is 2 months away, any thoughts on anything that needs to go on there? And if not, Lori's always good to send the agenda out and we can get it on there. Next, we have call to the board. Anybody on the board have any thoughts?
I should have asked you this. Ed, did you find any more out about what cables being brought in?
Do you remember, Kathy, that franchise fee? I feel like
ABC
that's what I thought it
1,
was.
2, 3.
Yep.
It looks like building blocks.
Some of the residents have told us that they're going down 33 miles with cable, and they were just asking if I knew anything about it. And I didn't realize that those fees were for giving them the right of way to put that cable in, right?
We gave them the right,
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
but in return, we get paid
Yeah,
that stabilization.
I don't know what cable company's doing that, and I was just wondering if anybody found out.
Goes through the Metro Act, and it's ABC 1, 2, 3.
And wasn't there like 67,000 millennial fee or something? It was a lot.
Yeah, okay.
So, anything else?
No,
Chris, anything?
I do just want to say one thing. I'm not beating a dead horse here, though, but the amendments, if anybody doesn't understand anything, get back to me as soon as possible. Only because I have to complete 4 of the sheets of financials by June 30th. It's state law, they have to be in. John's sitting there waiting for me. So, please call me.
Chuck, anything for you? Okay. We are now general public comment. Please come up to the podium and state your name and address. Anybody?
My name is Paul Dennis. I'm actually currently working on getting a building permit for my property out of Baker Ridge in Bourbon with my wife. And I've actually wanted with the whole garage thing. And so I know Kathy's seen the drawings and it dropped them off.
So we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I work construction. I'm actually part of that whole substations at 32 Mile Low Plain, so that's our job. Actually, that one, and then there's a new one that we're building that ties to it off the grammar. In between 31 and 31, that ties into Armenia Ridge, or into Armenia, which goes all the way over to Adams. Basically, it's a big loop, and here is the shortage. So there's 30 miles of steel poles going in, which go from Marysville all the way over to M53 behind the gas station. So I know that I was told once it passes 30 days in order for myself to get a building permit. But as you guys know, building in, you know, another month behind. I've already got the basement lined up. So another month behind, it pushes everything. And before you know it, I'm in the winter trying to do construction. I do it every day. It is not enjoyable. You don't get quality. And I'm a perfectionist. So I like things to look good. As you probably can't tell by my floor plans. I like things stone, brick, like it's going to be a showstopper in the corner up there. So I'm just asking if there's any way that I could at least just get just a permit. That's all I'm asking.
We can't issue you a permit for the plans that you've submitted now, because we don't have the vehicle to do that. Our ordinance is not in play yet. It will be in play 30 days after publication. I'd be happy to talk to you after the meeting a little bit, if you'd like, if you want to stay after the meeting a little bit. Okay, yep. Any other public comments?